Hey, this is Ken from Right From Wrong. I just wanted to do a quick, I guess, like personal update kind of thing. Um, Today is May 8th. That makes it almost exactly 3 months since I became unemployed and have been a writer, I guess, full time would be a good way to put it. I just wanted to share some of my experiences, some of the feedback, some of my thoughts on trying to be a full-time writer for the past 3 months. I know I did I think a 1 month update 2 months ago, and these last 2 months have flown by so much faster than that first month did. So I just wanted to touch base with, in case somebody's thinking, they're going to quit their job and do this full time, what they're really going to be up against, what some of the challenges are. So let me start. First off, I mean, there are some definite pros. Being able to start this YouTube channel has been great. It's been a great experience for me, just the learning, getting to hear some of your thoughts, some of the feedback I've gotten. I know it's a small channel, but just being able to do it, and just for my personal experience of learning how to do a YouTube channel, how to do the recording, getting the sound right. You've probably seen some of the videos where I've tried to do some screenshots, a little bit of special effects or whatever, just to try to make it look decent. So that's been a good experience for me. One of my other positives is just being there for my family. I mentioned that before, but I want to kind of keep this focused on the writing part, what to expect. A big part of what I wanted to do was sending out query letters, try to get manager. I don't usually try agents because I know how difficult that is, but to get a manager, meet some producers, some production companies, reach out to people for my screenplays. So I have had more time to do that. But how successful has that been? Long story short, it has not been successful. I'm usually pretty good with the query letters about getting responses back. I've said that before. But with the state of the industry the way it is now, maybe it's the projects that I've been querying, maybe it's the people. I generally do a lot of research to try to narrow down to the people that I need. I've done a video about that, about trying to do a good query letter with a decent percentage of response. I have gotten a few responses, but in 3 months, I believe I've received 3 responses, to be fair, to be honest. It's not good. That's not a lot. And I've sent out probably triple digit emails. And these are focused emails too. So when you hear that the response rate is about 1-2% sometimes, in the past, I've gotten about a 10-15% feedback to my query letters. Recently, it has been, about 3-4-5%, which is not great. So in that, I mean, I'm glad I got the opportunity to send those emails, to do that research, to spend the time to do that when I would normally probably been sitting at work without the ability to do it. But it really hasn't paid dividends yet. I know this is the long game. This is, it's just got to have one person say yes. But right now, I would say it has not been successful. And that hurts to say, but it's the truth. Another big thing that I always wanted to, be a stay-at-home writer or a full-time writer was just to get more writing done. And the first month, I had a plan, I had a project I was working on, and it took about 30 days, 35 days to get a good first draft of a new project, which is the fastest I've ever done. Just slightly over a month. I wanted to do it in a month. I got it in just slightly over. I'm happy with the draft. It does need some punch ups here and there. It's not perfect, but I was very happy with it. In the 2 months since, I've had difficulty choosing one project to stay on. I've had actually 2, maybe 3 good viable ideas in addition to the ones that I've already noted. I have a spreadsheet with about 80 potential ideas on it. 50 of them might be half decent that I might work on at some point in my life. And I've got about log lines and synopsis for maybe 30 of them. So I have plenty of ideas. It's just I had a hard time, I'm still having a hard time, honestly, finding one that I want to focus the next month on. So I've got a lot of false starts. I've got a lot of act ones, written. I've definitely had more time to look into things, which is nice. But in the past 2 months, I have not completed anything, which is very disappointing to me, and I hope to rectify that soon. Another thing is contests. Uh, I know you can still enter a contest while you're working, so it really probably hasn't helped me in that area. But I was getting a little bit of positive feedback. I was getting a little confidence as all three of my scripts that I entered into the emerging screenwriters competition I had two in the comedy um, category and one in the drama genre. Um, all of them advanced through the quarterfinals, got to the semifinals, and I just found out yesterday that they did not make the top 10, which is the finals. So, I mean, I'm still very happy in that I got that far. I was really hoping at least one of them would get into the finals because that's when people start looking at your work. That's when the industry professionals were required by the contest to read your stuff, that they promote it. There are some other perks and memberships and stuff that would have been nice that might have helped me. But I really wasn't in it for the prizes. I'm more in it for the industry professional, they have them take a look at it to get a little bit of that, I don't want to say clout, but when you're sending out query letters, it's nice to say I had a finalist or I would took third place or something like that. At this point in my career, I have not got that far yet. I've made a few second rounds. This is my first time going to potentially be up for the finals, but I did not make it to the finals. So that really hurt me yesterday. Even though I have gotten further, and it was 3 scripts, it wasn't just one. So I feel like I'm doing something right. I just feel like I'm missing like that secret sauce or something that puts you into the undeniable. You want to be undeniable. You want a script with legs that when somebody reads it, they give it to somebody else and say, hey, you got to read this. So you can't just be good. You can't just be okay. You've got to be great. You've got to be undeniable. And I feel like I'm like right there. Like I can write something that people will read and enjoy, but is it enough to get them excited? I don't know. I'm not getting that vibe from the feedback yet. And I think that's where I got to step it up. Another area that has been a positive, having all this time off the last 90 days or so, Substack. I started a Substack. I was sharing a project. I don't know if I've talked about that on here before. It's a post-apocalyptic like zombie thing. I always liked the concept of it. I wanted to do a zombie thing that wasn't quite like The Walking Dead, quite like Land of the Dead, Dawn of the Dead. Not quite 28 Days Later. It's kind of its own thing, but it's more of a serial fiction that each episode or each chapter kind of tells a little story, but progresses. And I'm not a big TV series. I don't watch a ton of series. I'm getting more into it, but I figured a series would be the best outlet for this story, and I'm not big on that. So it kind of sat on my laptop hard drive for years. But Substack has given me the ability to post it in chunks, little 1700 1800 word chunks, separating each episode into like 3 stories, and then go from there. And I'm really excited about that. I mean, it's not monetized yet. I mean, maybe in the future I'll look into what that entails, but right now it was just about turning that story into something that people could read, and I've gotten some good feedback on it. And that's something that I probably would not have done had I not had this time researching YouTube, Twitch, Substack, some of these other platforms. And so far, I'm really liking Substack. If you haven't got into that, there's a lot of great creators on there. So I just want to keep this short. I just want to sum everything up. The last 90 days has had its ups and downs for sure. Not having that work dread and being there for my family has definitely been a positive. But to keep it focused on writing, I would have to say I'm still a little up in the air about it. I still feel a little out of place not having, a 9 to 5 or a 6 to 3 as it was. I've got definitely more time to write, definitely more time to think, definitely more time to research, definitely, new platforms, new methods of getting my work out there has been great. But I have to be honest to myself and to you has it been worth it? I'm not seeing the results I wanted. Let's just put it that way. So if you're still on the fence of like you have a 9 to 5 or you have a full-time job and you want to stop to become a creator, I'm not telling you not to. It's definitely got some positives, but I would say try to continue creating while you're working. Get those roots of something started. And then when you do jump off, that platform, and you'll have those roots and hopefully some trees and branches that you can hang on to, and you'll have something that started, and you won't be growing it from scratch once you're home. I did have a few things like in the fire or whatever when I left. They haven't paid monetarily in the last 3 months. But there's still projects going on. There's still things I'm involved in. I'm still a co-writer and editor with the Ronan of Okane graphic novel, which I believe will be having a Kickstarter coming up soon. But again, that's not. I wanted to be more into the screenplay. I'm working on a novel still, the fourth novel in my Legend of Levnar series. Again, I don't expect a ton of monetary value from that, but I want to put this time that I have to use to creating something. I can market, I can do whatever, promote it later, but first you got to get it done. And so yeah, to sum it up, it's been tough. I mean, it sounds weird to be unemployed and to still say it sounds tough, because I'm sure there's a lot of people that are working full-time jobs, probably have second jobs and families, and and still be creative. And they aren't going to have a lot of pity on me, and that's fine. I was really hoping to see something, something real, something solid in this time off. And if it doesn't happen, at least I don't have that regret. Like, I was having a strong regret sitting at work thinking like, well, if I wasn't here, what would I be doing? Well, now I know the answer to that. I'd be here working my butt off and trying to come up with ideas. And this business runs slow, whether it's writing novels, screenplays, the movie business, it's slow. But all it takes is that one moment to turn things around. And hopefully you get that moment. Hopefully I get that moment soon. So anyway, I just wanted to touch base. I'll have some new videos hopefully soon. Catch you next time. This is Ken. Have a good one.